Bluetooth speakers are a weirdly saturated market, yet at the same time, there's no real one brand that comes to mind or one type that comes to mind that like stands above the rest. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, there are great offerings from Soundcore or JBL. Or if you do want to spend a bit more money, then you can go for something like a Bose or even a Sonos. Funny enough, there is one brand though that you definitely don't think of. You see, the Polaroid P2 isn't like any of the other speakers that I've mentioned because, unlike those speakers, this one is made by a camera company. In fact, this speaker and all the other ones in the P line are some of the first that Polaroid has ever made because, again, it's a camera company. So what business does it have making speakers? Is this like a genuine attempt at doing something new and interesting, or is it just a cash grab in a new industry? You know what I mean? Can you see my kind of dilemma here? I've actually been using the Polaroid P2 for over a year now, and honestly, I really like it, but I don't think I could recommend it, and I'm gonna tell you why. One of the things I like most about the Polaroid P2 is actually the design. You see, it's kind of like a modern interpolation of one of those kind of classic boombox style speakers, but with much more playful and kind of colorful flair to it. On top of that, the whole thing just kind of feels quite solid. You know, all the buttons have a nice little kind of clickiness to them. Plus the top dial here controls the volume, but it's kind of got these like discernible notches, so you know that the volume's going up and down. Plus the screen on the front tells you. Behind this sealed flap, you'll find an aux port as well as a USB-C port for charging. And the battery life is surprisingly good. Polaroid says that it's up to 15 hours, and I would find that pretty accurate. Overall, the sound quality is pretty decent, especially at max volumes. Now, it does get quite loud for a speaker this size, and you will find some distortion, not a whole lot, but it's more so you will find a lack of clarity at those very loud volumes. I will say that the bass is a little lacking, but that is to be expected in speakers this size, and while overall I do like the sound quality that comes out of this, it definitely doesn't blow me away. I do have some major gripes with the speaker, the first of which is the app. It is kind of interesting in concept because it functions as an internet radio, so you can listen to radio from anywhere around the world as long as it is on the internet. So I can even listen to like Irish radio, which is really cool.
Drive to Survive can kind of annoy me sometimes because they can kind of sometimes make more of a situation than it actually even was.
But that's it. There's no sound settings, there's no EQ through the app. The only settings that are related to the speaker itself is the ability to change the brightness of the screen and to change the volume, which is kind of useless. There used to be these like curated stations, which was really cool. They had some creators actually put together radio stations that you could follow and you could like songs from it. In fact, you can actually go ahead and like songs that appear on the radio from here, which is kind of cool. But it's almost like having the app doesn't affect your experience using the speaker at all. And so there's kind of no point having it. Now, my next gripe is a big one. And it's actually one of the reasons why I don't think I could recommend this speaker to you. And that's the price. You see, for MSRP, the speaker comes in at $130 US, which, while still cheaper than some of the options from Bose or UE, is still only about $50 less than those speakers. And you do get a lot more out of them with those other options. Now, this is the biggest reason I'm not going to recommend this speaker to you. It's not waterproof, like, at all, in any way. I thought maybe because it had this kind of like sealed little flap here that would be to protect it against water or dust, but this speaker actually has no IP rating whatsoever. Now, that being said, I do use this speaker while I'm in the shower to listen to music, with it just placed outside, and I haven't had any issues with it yet, but still, at that price, it is a big con for me. And it is a big shame because there's quite a lot to like about this speaker, especially visually. Like, it stands out from the competitors, but with a lack of waterproofing and at the price range, it just makes it really hard to recommend. Now, I feel like the conclusion is going to be pretty obvious because I have just kind of been ragging on this thing, but it really sucks because there is a lot to like about it, and I really wish I could recommend it to you. I have really liked using it for the last year or so, and I've used it nearly every day. And on top of that, I've also liked using it as just a decorative piece that sits on my desk or my bookshelf. So if you watched all this and you think, maybe I do like the look of it, well, if you happen to see it on sale, then I'd say maybe go for it. If it's under $100, I think I've seen it on sale for $50 US. And at that price range, I'd say, sure, it's probably worth it. But if you are looking to spend $130 to $150 for a Bluetooth speaker, then I'd say look elsewhere, because sadly the Polaroid P2 just is not it. Well, my name's Robin, Slán Leat, and I'll see you in the next one.